Welcome back to Movie Killers after the hiatus. Tom, you came back from Nebraska. How you feeling?
Well, I'm warm.
You're warm now, yeah?
I'm warm.
Oh, you brought
It
the winter.
reset the
You
therm-
brought a little bit with you back for a couple of days.
Oh, hey, don't blame me for that crap.
Oh, I didn't mind. I love the 60
It was
degrees.
negative 25 degrees where I was, so you can eat a dick.
No, that's cool, man. But I did realize because you're working, you didn't watch all the Star Wars, did you?
I've seen every Star Wars movie ever
You didn't
made.
re-watch them all, did you, during your break?
I didn't have a chance. I literally worked 16 days straight, wake to sleep.
That's fine, understandable. I ended up finishing the prequels first, and
You know.
But we're gonna go ahead and just do Phantom Menace tonight.
Okay.
And then we'll continue on next week, with Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and then go through the original trilogy.
Literally, we'll end with Rogue One.
Do you want to end with Rogue One?
I'm willing to end with Rogue One if I can get to see Rogue One.
All right, so you want to do the prequel movies and then Rogue One and stop, or do the prequels, the original trilogy, Force Awakens, and Rogue One?
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
so all of them.
Rogue One at the end,
But you
Force
want to do-
Awakens
okay.
before that, and then we'll chronological because Rogue One came out so recently. There's no way we could start with it and not be a spoiler.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. All right, well then I guess go ahead and start with The Phantom Menace.
All right. Well, I want to bring up the minor one first.
Okay.
There were statues of horses, but I don't believe I've ever seen a horse on that planet. Not once. They were riding what was tantamount to a furless tauntaun during the battle scene in this movie.
Yes, they were. To answer that, I've actually noticed there was some ducks in the water. There's been phrases about other animals as horses and ducks, which implies that yes, they are somewhere. And the humanoid Naboo's are not. Well, they originally weren't native to that world. They colonized onto that world, which is why they share it with the Gungans. So maybe the world they came from had horses. But not to mention the forest was rife with life, so there was a horse-like or equine species on there. But most likely it was from the original world had horses, I would say.
Well, I mean, show me a remnant of a horse. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't think I've ever seen a horse in the entire movie series.
Ewoks. They
Ewoks
had
had
horses.
horses?
They had horses.
I want to see a picture of Ewoks on horses. But, okay.
All right.
You'll look that up, and I'll continue to entertain the crowd with more statements.
Go ahead. What else you got? Because I forgot my list. I apologize.
Why is it that... And you know what I didn't notice about this movie at the end? I completely forgot about it before I watched it again.
Uh-huh.
I've got to give props to Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
He is the first... He's got to be the smartest Jedi in history.
Okay.
Because he was the one who was smart enough. All right, those are Ewoks on horse.
Okay, so Obi-Wan was smart enough.
He was so smart because he was the only one to think, well, maybe I'll just cut Darth Maul's lightsaber in half, thus making him half as lethal.
Actually, also, I have to admire Obi-Wan in the very beginning when he walked into the conference room as they were still ambassadors. He's like, I have a bad feeling. He's like, well, no. It's like, no. It's like there's something
was in the wrong place.
Lingering.
No,
like,
what he was censoring was the impending doom of the future of the movie.
Exactly. He sensed it all coming, which means Obi-Wan really was this great Jedi master.
Oh, he was.
Yeah. He was he was still a Padawan at this stage, but
no, he wasn't a Padawan.
No,
he was older.
Yeah.
He wasn't a master yet.
He hadn't taken the trials to become knight. You only conferred master later on.
I want to know what these trials are, honestly, one day.
It differs from different Jedi, because in the two-parter cartoon, Anakin's trials were actually done during the war, and that's how they said, okay, you're officially a Jedi Knight now.
Yeah, but not a master.
They didn't make him a master, but that's part 3.
But even though, a Jedi Knight automatically takes on a Padawan in this movie. What the hell?
He only did it as dying wishes, but, let's see. Minor... The core? Okay, you're telling me there's no hot molten core?
No, it's an entire water-based planet. Why is that so hard for you to grasp? We're talking about a movie that takes place millions of years ago in space.
Yeah.
And your problem is a planet that's center is water and not fire?
Just saying it doesn't make sense on what we know of planets nowadays.
What we know of our planets?
Yeah.
Who knows what's going on in other solar systems? There could be entire water-based planets.
Maybe.
Or maybe... you see, my personal favorite about that was they are on the complete opposite side of the planet.
Supposedly, yes, because they had to go through the core to get there.
Because the fastest route would be a straight line.
Most likely they went around the core, but go on.
Yeah. Like, so literally, how did you get all the way on the other side of the planet from where you needed to be?
Because the Separatists landed there. And I think that's the point you're getting to, is why did they land their army on the other side of the planet?
Yeah, why would you land your army on a planet?
A land-based army.
I mean, we don't want to see it coming. 5 miles, pretty much you're out of sight.
They have them blockaded, trapped on their planet. So yeah, they're not going to see it coming. You know what? Forget it. I'm going right to the major one that's been bugging the shit out of me. No, but
okay.
The blockade. How was that legal in any sense of the term? And not just the fact of, okay, you can't send your own trade ships out because we're blockading legally. Because they said in the movie it was a legal blockade. But they were shoot on sight anyone trying to leave the planet. Especially the Naboo Royal Cruiser.
Okay.
Basically, oh, that's an ambassador. Don't shoot that ship.
Let's call Palpatine a smarter version of Trump first.
Okay.
All right. Now.
Interesting analogy.
Okay. He set up a border.
Yeah.
He pretty much made sure everyone on that planet knew, and everybody outside that planet knew beforehand. You try to cross into this planet, it's gonna mean shit. Or off that planet, it's gonna mean shit. So therefore, when people tried to fly out, it's shoot on sight because they already know no leaving the planet.
But that's not a blockade.
That's about the.
I mean, that's a declaration of war if you're gonna try to contain a planet like that.
Yeah,
that you
but it's illegal. No, it's not a declaration of war. It's I would say it's more like a police action.
And I can understand it, but the Trade Federation worked with the Republic. They weren't part of the Republic. And this is what I don't get. And honestly, the movie doesn't actually explain how the blockade was legal because the expanding universe did, but it's no longer canon. But it just doesn't make sense of how they were able to legally do that.
Well, then I've got to bring up the age-old thing that I have learned from my father and my grandfather before him. It's only illegal if you get caught.
That's true. Now, of course, you did notice one thing about the blockade. It was primarily around the equator.
Yeah.
Why not fly from one of the poles, turn, and take a hyperspace right out of your...
See, right now, you're right into my big plot hole killer, too.
Okay.
My movie killer right now.
All right, what do you got? We'll see if they merge together.
They kind of do.
All right.
Because it has to involve that blockade. Okay.
The blockade is the problem.
How do I damage the shield generator when the shields are on? When they were flying off the planet to escape with the queen.
Yeah.
Queen, handmaiden, blah, blah, blah. They shot the ship. It hit the shield generator and dropped the shield generator, thus making them have to stop, pick up Anakin, do all that. You don't have an entire movie. You have nothing.
Okay, in universe, you are absolutely correct. But
I'm listening.
If you take in the Darth Jar Jar Binks theory, he sabotaged that ship to ensure.
Okay.
Now, to be fair,
I'm not accepting the Jar Jar.
To be fair, let's hear it. When I was rewatching The Phantom Menace, I kept that in mind to see how well it added up. And on first glance, it doesn't really. You don't notice it, but it does add up a lot. It explains that plot hole. It explains everything about these. In fact, the franchise. In fact, the guy who played Jar Jar, even on, not Twitter, but Reddit, had a thread going where he was like, "Look, ask me any questions, I'll explain it." And when someone mentioned that theory, he's like, and someone finally got it. Indirectly, he said it. So it's like, was Jar Jar the big bad?
He was pandering to his fans.
He was going to be. And that's why Count Dooku got thrown in out of nowhere. But, as the movies are, though, and that's what we have to discuss, unfortunately, even though Darth Jar Jar be badass and awesome, in universe, yes, there's no reason why the shield generator should have went down.
Thus, you don't have the rest of the movie.
On the Naboo Royal Cruiser. This ship is docked and ready to go.
The Queen's
personal
private
transport.
Car.
Yeah.
Now, hypothetically, the President's private car. Something tells me you're not going to disable the bulletproof glass by shooting the bulletproof glass.
Yeah. So, yeah, the blockade in itself is definitely a problem because they don't explain how it works when it's legal. Because otherwise, if it's not legal, the Republic, even though, or the Senate, no matter how much they want to blah, 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 not get shit done, they'd be like, oh, you need to get your shit out of there now. Okay. And then in case there's no conflict. But even if they explain, okay, well, here's how it's legal, you are correct. How did the shield generator get knocked out without the Darth Jar Jar theory being reality? How did it work to where they'd have to go to Tatooine to fix a few parts? And unfortunately, the movie falls apart because of those aspects.
Yes,
which actually affects the entire saga.
Well, think they
Because
would have
then
been
no Anakin.
escaping with the Queen. They never would have gone back to the planet. They would have gone right to the Senate and got shot down. It would have killed the entire movie.
Yeah.
It would have killed every following movie after
Well,
that.
if Amidala never
because
met,
they never would have found Anakin.
yeah, they never met Anakin. No Luke and Leia, no nothing, none of that.
Exactly. There's nothing.
And the Emperor had to find some other way to get his empire
Literally,
formed.
that one shield generator getting hit actually shuts down the entire franchise.
Yep.
So I have achieved, I believe, the masterhood of this whole entire web show.
Yeah.
With unless you subscribe to Darth Jar Jar.
Yeah. Well, if Darth Jar Jar if they had made those movies actually happen that way, then yes, it would have actually explained a lot of it. And well, then we wouldn't have that to go off of.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right. As it is, it kills everything.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
murder.
the blockade not being legal as a movie as
it's
it
not
is.
even a movie killer. I think this is a movie genocide.
It is. Because it just breaks down everything else.
Okay.
There would have been no reason to go to the Outer Rim. There would have been, they went to the Senate right away, or they would have survived their escape, went to the Senate would have acted, the Trade Federation been knocked out, because remember, they were dead set on doing everything legally. They would not invade until Sidious is like, I'll make it legal. So, okay, he said to go ahead and invade, he'll make it legal. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done that, because they wanted to work with the Senate, the Republic. Because, basically, I believe that the outside source stated was that they were going for tax cuts, and they were getting charged more. That's why they were doing this like basically a protest. But why they chose Naboo was because Palpatine wanted them to choose Naboo and tricked them into doing it.
Big Papa Palpatine, yeah.
But unfortunately, that's expanded universe, which is Legends, and doesn't.
Okay.
It's not confirmed. It's not confirmed until it's confirmed.
All right.
But,
well, I would like to go into my personal fan theory for a quick moment.
Okay.
I think I've earned it now. If I killed an entire franchise.
Yeah. All right. Your
All right,
personal
I'm gonna
fan
do it.
theory. So about Phantom Menace, obviously.
Okay. Well, yeah, because this character only appears in Phantom Menace. It's Qui-Gon Jinn.
Liam Neeson. He was not killing someone in the movie until the end.
He is a reformed Sith, is my theory. And I have evidence to back it up. Well,
Okay.
I have.
You're not the only person who believes this. So what's the evidence that does support this theory?
Name one other Jedi you know would cheat. Now name one Sith you know that would cheat.
Okay.
All right. Would Jedis cheat to get their own way?
I honestly believe they would.
I don't believe they would. I believe the Sith.
Not as badly. But, okay, here's why. As you find out in number 2 and 3, the Jedi have this collective storage of knowledge. They won't share with anyone unless you're a Jedi.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons that...
I'm sorry.
Masons?
What?
Yeah, this is one of the reasons that Anakin fell far to the dark side, why he really believed what Palpatine was selling him. Because, why are the Jedi hiding this knowledge? If it's for why they're good for everyone, why not? And while the Jedi are supposed to be for the good, I think sometimes they take that as, well, it's for the greater good.
The greater good.
And unfortunately, when you go with it's for the greater good, you sometimes will do things that aren't necessarily
Are we
considered
doing Hot
moral.
Fuzz now?
I love Hot Fuzz.
Okay.
I'm going to have to rewatch that later
We're
now.
gonna add that to the list.
Oh, Hot Fuzz?
Next season.
Are we going to do the whole the Sunday trilogy then?
Oh, the Cornelis trilogy?
Yes. Are we going to do that one? You want to do that later?
Let's finish this one and we'll talk about that after the show.
All right, we'll do that. Okay. But yeah, so what you're saying, Qui-Gon being dark, it's also why Qui-Gon was so interested about, I think, the prophecy, too.
Well, here's the thing.
Because he's a reformed Jedi. He's all about now being Jedi.
Well,
and remember, no one else was all about the... Oh, go ahead.
He cheats
Yeah.
to get the dice to roll to the side he wants.
Yeah, he wanted Anakin. At least it was between the two.
Okay.
He would have taken both, but
Which
it's like...
to me was just letting a little of the dark side out for him. He was cheating to get his way as opposed to just killing him and taking them both.
Yeah.
Okay? When he's sitting with... And this is part of my theory. I haven't seen this other theory online. I did a little checking, but not a lot.
Okay.
But he's sitting with Anakin in his kitchen, and Anakin talks about seeing his lightsaber. I think after that, Qui-Gon told a true story. He says, well, maybe I killed a Jedi and took his lightsaber. I'm thinking that's what reformed him back to the Jedi Order. He killed a Jedi who was his former Jedi Master when he turned Sith. And that action is what turned him back to going, no, I can't be that. I'm going to go back to being a Jedi.
But that explained why he was trained by, was it Dooku or Yoda?
Qui-Gon?
Yeah.
I don't remember who.
I think Dooku was trained by Yoda, and I'm confusing that.
Yeah.
Because I would say that might be why Yoda trained him, but if Yoda didn't train him, okay. So, okay, yeah, you know what? That's rarely used in movies, But when it does, it's very just like nonchalant. Like, well, maybe I did this, and it's like, well, that's actually what happened.
I'm thinking that
he was telling the exact truth.
Exactly how he got his lightsaber, the green lightsaber, as opposed to the red that is commonly used by Sith.
Yeah, you know why it's
because of the stone.
But you know why? Well, okay, I don't remember if this was the former truth, and now it's not. But at one point, whether it's the current canon or the previous canon, when a Sith, because basically Sith had to steal the crystals from fallen Jedi, and when they did, the crystal bled because of its former master being killed, and hence why they always had red lightsabers.
Okay.
But yeah, I've heard. I haven't read into it, but I have heard about Qui-Gon being a former Sith, and I always liked the idea of him being, because of how stoic he was and how dedicated. He always did seem like, but he was also willing to go his own path.
He was trained under Dooku.
Oh, he was? Okay. Yeah.
His master was Dooku. So yes, he was a
former.
He was a Sith who reformed back to Jedi.
That further helps support it.
Yeah.
Because if he was trained by Dooku, and let's say
Dooku was not a good guy.
Yeah, and granted, the guy did a good job as Dooku, but I really felt if you watch the two-parter...
Christopher Lee's a great actor.
But when you see the two-parter Cartoon Network special that shows the Clone Wars... Because I haven't seen the Clone Wars CGI show, but that two-parter, you really see Dooku of why he was... How badass he was, and why Grievous was so dangerous.
Oh, and I just want to bring up the fact that Christopher Lee in real life was badass.
Oh, I believe it.
Oh, he was a soldier in the Office of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which was basically English special ops during World War I.
Nice.
One, I want to say?
That explains how he carries himself.
Yeah, and actually, fun little fact, Lord of the Rings. When they were doing the whole somebody got stabbed, Christopher Lee walks up to Peter Jackson and he goes, "That's not the sound a man makes when he gets stabbed."
Oh.
I'm like, yeah. Plus, Dracula, Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
He was an Olympic-class fencer.
Okay, well then...
He was a badass guy.
Then I... Complete props to him.
So they got the perfect guy to play Dooku, in my opinion.
But I think we're leaking into part 2 already. We should keep it...
Well, no, I just wanted to say that, all right, he had a Sith for a master.
Yes.
He's proven he's willing to bend, if not break the rules. He does not deal in absolutes.
Yeah.
Because Yoda tells him no. He goes, I'll train him myself then.
Yep, he did say that. He basically, and even Obi-Wan says, "Master, please don't go defy the council again." Nope. He's done this before. Even though, if he was indeed a reformed Sith, you don't just change overnight. Yep. And while he tries to be Jedi as possible, when his mind is focused on that, he does it. Which
goes back to the ways he was trained.
Passion.
Yeah.
And which is more the way
emotion.
Of the Sith.
Yeah.
And, I mean, granted, being emotionless is impossible for humanoids. That just doesn't work.
Well, I'm sorry. Name one other Jedi who come up with the idea, oh, well, we can't get through this door. What are you going to do? I'm just going to stick my lightsaber in. I'm going to let it melt that door.
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, I like to think that that's part of the reason is the fact that, out-of-the-box thinker.
Yeah, and more
because he was
I'm going straight to that source.
Yeah, I'm going to die. I don't care who's on the other side of that door.
That was one of the other things that popped up that, okay, during that part, before he's doing that, right?
Yeah.
And then the battle droid with the shields pop up and they start deflecting. They're like, we got to go find a different way. And they zoom down that hallway using, like, Jedi super speed.
Yeah.
You never see them use that ever again. Which would have been very helpful during the whole...
Fight scene
with Darth Maul, the whole force field doors, which made no sense, but whatever.
Well, they weren't doors.
Obi-Wan could have been right next to him like that. And yet...
No,
he wasn't.
No. You want to bring that up? I'll bring up the fact that at any point he could have taken his lightsaber and disabled the little side rails that moved, that opened and closed them, thus being able to get through.
Yeah, but that'd be the smarter. Well, I think they activated the bulk shields, which might have went around it. But either way, yeah, you're right. If you're trapped behind something and you can't break the door,
or then again,
break the hinges.
My personal favorite of hole in the ground. Hole in the roof. Oh, look, here I am.
Yeah.
I mean, and he has force users, so that means he's gonna be able to sense where they are.
Yeah, that reminds me of the quick little comic between Old Man Obi versus Darth Vader. And he's just sitting there looking at Darth Vader, turns that lightsaber down, cuts a hole in the floor, drops it, goes right to the core of the Death Star.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Come pick me up," and then
Isn't that how it should have ended?
Yeah. No, I don't know how it should have ended, but it was a little comic someone made. But
it's perfect, yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. I mean, Qui-Gon does fit that, and that Force sprint is never used in any other movie ever again.
Yeah.
Which would have been very helpful throughout the entire saga.
But you know what else I noticed? They used forced dry cleaning.
That they do.
They swam through the entire ocean of that planet and came up dry.
Actually, I believe that's Gungan technology. Because if you notice, their floors were not damp and wet. So when they go past that barrier, it actually pulls the water off.
Out of clothing, though?
Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, their robes are dry.
It would make sense.
I like to think forced dry cleaning personally, but, okay. It explains why everybody else wears leather.
Yeah. But then again, the Gungans were more naturalistic.
And then one of the few episodes of the television show I did watch, you get to find out what happened to half of Darth Maul.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because he comes back.
No spoiler alert, I won't tell you which half.
Actually, there was a non-canon, like a couple-page comic that had Darth Maul hunting down Old Man Obi-Wan. He's like, I don't care about the dark side. I'm going to light side. It's revenge now. And they just duked it out. And it was like, that was really cool. It was never canon, but they brought him back in Clones, which are Rebels? Rebels.
Yeah.
And so that is canon.
And he had the spider leg.
So yeah, technically canon. Darth Maul survived. And he's back. And what was that room? That giant chasm?
Oh.
What was that?
Oh, I know what that is. At least I have a theory.
Who built that?
Okay. Do you know what that is?
I don't know what that is.
That is a nuclear exhaust port for expelling nuclear radiation and gas in the case of a breach of what is powering the entire city.
Okay.
That's why you have the little things that go on and off. They make sure they're constantly in work. If one stops, someone's going to know immediately because they're constantly on and off.
Okay. That actually would explain the door, the barriers. That explains the chasm of death, even though there should have been guardrails.
Oh, yeah, because, that's a Star Wars thing that people have been saying for decades. Where's the guardrails?
Yeah, I know, right?
Even
the guy who was, like, near the beam of the Death Star had, like, one little rail. But it wasn't much. It was like, you could have easily just... that poor guy. But yeah, okay, that's right there. It's just... But overall, though, I have to say the movie wasn't as bad as people try to remember it to be. I mean, yeah, it seemed...
Jar Jar.
No, Jar Jar was fine.
No, that was it. That was everybody's big problem.
They were so focused on hating Jar Jar,
well,
even though there was no problem. All right, the CGI. Yes, the CGI does not hold up because it was like George Lucas got a new toy and wanted to put it everywhere. But if you remember...
Are you telling me the CGI from the first movies holds up?
What, in Phantom Menace?
No, I'm talking Star Wars 4, 5, and 6. Are you telling me that CGI holds up? Don't tell me CGI is the problem.
No.
No, I'm telling these people. I'm talking to the fans. I'm telling you, if CGI is really your problem, then I suggest not watching anything from the 80s classics. Because the CGI, guess what, guys, is not going to hold up. Go watch fucking Tron and tell me that shit holds up.
But no, the point I'm making is, it was a new type. And yes, Lucas used a lot in episode 1. And it's not...
why?
It wasn't terrible.
It was cheaper than building the sets.
Yeah. He did still use sets. It's just, he did use a lot of CGI. It wasn't terrible, but it doesn't hold up as well as the other movies. Because episode 2...
Well, yeah, because they had to build everything
the CGI was far better. In episode 3, it was almost seamless.
Oh, wow. So you're telling me movies made 5 years apart with technology has a chance to advance are better than... But visually?
But the point I'm making is that a lot of people can bitch about the CGI, and the truth is, Phantom Menace, it doesn't look that good anymore. But at the time, it was like, wow, this is really cool.
Well, here's the thing, and this rolls on all the time, is that what I noticed is it started this way.
Yeah.
African-American people went, wow, Jar Jar's really racist. Because of the fact that he did seem to have that very...
Jamaican accent?
Not even that. It was houseboy behavior. Uneducated African-American in the South in, let's say, the 1700s.
I see what you're saying.
And then that ball started rolling. Now nobody could say they like Jar Jar.
Which is unfortunate
because... if you say you like Jar Jar, now you're kind of sounding racist to your friends. You don't want to sound racist, even though you probably are.
Yeah.
And then it rolls into nobody likes Jar Jar, and then they come up with stupid reasons. Well, he was stupid. He was a useless character. No, he got them off the planet's surface.
He was also the integral character making the entire franchise happen, too.
Yeah.
He's the reason theoretically, he's the reason they got to Tatooine. Even if that's not canon, he's the reason Palpatine got power. Yeah. Because while Queen Amidala, or or the next queen was busy not dying because it's too safe, too dangerous to go to Coruscant. Who's representing Naboo? Jar Jar. Who's being manipulated or working with Palpatine? Jar Jar. Who convinces the entire Senate to give up all their power to one man? Jar Jar. There's your empire. So Jar Jar Binks, he's crucial. He made all that happen. He is the integral character. So if you want to hate him for that, go for it.
And
if you want to hate him because
I don't think he
made a poop joke
either.
Come on.
Plus, he never repaid his life debt.
Yeah, but then that's why the whole Darth Jar Jar it's such a good theory. It explains that. It's like he was a Sith. He didn't care. He was manipulating everyone. It was a bumbling act. Because if you remember, when he brought them to the city, he was exiled for being clumsy, right? But when the other Gungans saw him, they were back up going like, oh shit, he's here. They're all like not running, but they're backing away quick. And it's like, there's more to that than just being. No offense,
but that happened the same time anybody met Mr. Bean for a second time.
Yeah, that's true.
Are you telling me Rowan Atkinson's gonna be the next Darth Bean?
That would be hilarious. Actually,
I would watch that movie. I'm not gonna lie.
But no, I mean, in all seriousness, I'm gonna stop trying to jump on the Jar Jar theory because it's good, but
it's not a half an episode good.
It's not confirmed, unfortunately. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, whether you hate Jar Jar or not, he is integral to the rest of the franchise to make things play out the way they did. The CGI was okay, wasn't bad. The stepping and poop joke, it was a joke. You had to have some humor in these movies, guys. Calm down. And honestly, I thought the rest of the movie was great. Pod racing, everyone agrees, was one of the coolest things they've seen.
Yeah.
Even people who hate the prequels will say, well, I like the pod racing.
Oh, yeah.
It was neat.
Apparently so did the main character. Because he tried to do it in real life while on LSD.
But yeah, I mean, in the battles, you had a land battle with the droids between the Gungans. You had the Naboo, trying to infiltrate their palace to take it back over. And you had the space battle between the pilots and Anakin helping them taking down one particular battle station, which...
I still gotta say that, I'm surprised when people goes like, oh, the battles are really great. I'm like, wait, you're telling me in a movie called Star Wars, there was a air battle while a ground battle was happening. Are you crapping me?
Yeah, but that's actual...
Yeah. That's
Wars.
The formula that works.
That's why you can consider it a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
I really am hoping episode 4 through 6 can live up to the title Star Wars when I rewatch it. But so far, 1 and 3, the end of 2, I'll get the end of 2 this, has it. But 1 and 3 actually fits the title Star Wars.
I'm sorry, I seem to remember one movie where there were just a buttload of guys with lightsabers just owning an entire crowd of robots.
Yeah,
what movie would that?
The end of, like I said, the end of episode 2 fits into that. The most of the movie doesn't, but the end, when the Clone Wars actually starts, you're like, oh, this is Star Wars, not space opera.
Well, I'm sorry, but a war is made up of a bunch of little battles. That's why they're always trilogies.
Yeah,
it's the entire war, start to finish.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just saying that so far from me rewatching, confirming that the prequels live up better than name. Like I said, I hope for the fans of the original trilogy.
I don't know.
I get swayed differently when I rewatch the original trilogy later.
Once again, I like to say it's like the reason it's called Star Wars is because in the trilogy, it's the war start to finish. In the original 3, it was they stole the plans for their new weapon. Yeah. Then it leads to defeat the enemy at the end.
It was guerrilla warfare, rebels. That's all it was.
And
it wasn't much
in this one, it was Palpatine's trying to take over the war. The dark side won. Yeah. And then in this next one, not only steal the plans, but now another planet gets destroyed by a Sith weapon. So I'm talking about the planet in the 7th one.
Okay, Force Awakens, gotcha.
Yeah, there is the planet killer.
Star Killer, yeah. Star Killer. The planet Death Star, which, oh my god.
Yeah, Star Killer.
Well, I'll bitch about that when we get to Force Awakens.
So I'm telling you right now, it's going to go until the next movie's going to have a bigger battle. It's going to be more people involved. They're probably going to see more Poe. And then in the 9th one, that's where you're going to have it. That's where it's going to be...
The huge...
We're going to see the death of another Solo. The last male Solo, I think.
We'll see. Like I said, I'll see how the original trilogy holds up when I rewatch it, and we'll see how the new trilogy adds into the name. Yeah. I mean, it's whether or not I agree with the title Star Wars fitting certain ones or not. The truth is, that's this universe's name, Star Wars.
Yeah.
So they're all part of it. Whether if you guys hate the prequels, they're still a part of it. They are officially a part of it.
If you hate the prequels, you're a fair weather fan. I'm not afraid to hold back and say it. That's what you are. Honestly, you ever watch the Evil Dead series? If you didn't like the first Evil Dead movie, once again, you're a fair weather fan. You're getting just as much Bruce Campbell as the other two.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting just as many humor. The problem is it wasn't unintentional humor.
Yeah. Now, the phrase you're using, I'm not recognizing.
Fair weather?
Yes, fair weather fan.
Fair weather. Okay. This comes from stadium going to see sports, right?
Okay.
A diehard fan sees their team every chance they can.
No matter
Fair
what.
weather? Oh, well, it's bright and sunny. I'll go see my team play.
Ah.
Oh, it's raining. Oh, no, I'm going to stay home.
Hence
Ain't
why,
working.
if it's a rainy day at the away team stadium, you'll see less crowd
diehard, yeah.
on their stands, but they're the diehard
Because
fans.
they're the fair weather fans.
And then on the nice days, to have everyone else be there too. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right, and that would actually apply to this. Any people who
Yeah,
pick
you
and
like
choose,
it when it's great, but when it's just good or mediocre, God forbid.
Yeah.
God forbid, George Lucas wants to try to take a little bit of a break and just write a basic movie.
Yeah, and honestly, it fits that. Like I said, it has decent pacing. I think like a third in, it gets kind of a little bogged down a little bit, but I mean, this is where you see Anakin, who is not corrupted at all. A young kid who just wants to be free and go out into the world, and the fact that he becomes this dictator. It's like,
Hey,
wow.
I'm still very, very upset about some of the scenes in the next movie coming up. So
When we get to part two,
well, let's not get too much into that. I'm gonna start getting hitting the feels a little.
Feels, man, but still, it was still fun. I mean, a lot of great shots, a lot of great scenes, and honestly, it helped expand the universe. I mean, we got to see Coruscant, an entire planet that's one giant city. You never saw that in the original trilogy. This is like a mega city, beyond a mega city. It's like, how does that even function? But it's like, wow, it does. We got to see
Cloud City.
Well, Cloud City you never saw was clouds in one little, like George Jetson apartment complex.
Oh, and then I got to saw the whole entire bottom of it.
Did you see the bottom of Cloud
Well,
City?
what was Luke hanging off of?
Oh, well, the bottom of the George Jetson house. I'm saying, I thought you meant the actual
No, that's
planet.
the actual city.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like, that's it. It's George
I'm
Jetson.
okay with that. I would be upset if Cloud City was 30 miles below sea level. To be perfectly honest, I feel like I was lied to. And then I would never trust Lando Calrissian again, which means I never drink Colt 45. But I digress.
And for you diehard fans, like they have blue milk makes an appearance, I think, in every Star Wars.
Yeah.
If I remember right, all 3 first episodes, there is at least one part you'll see blue milk.
Okay. Here's a minor one then.
Okay.
Let's get back to the killing
To the
of
actual
this
plot holes?
murdering it.
Okay.
What would the service droid C-3PO's requirement be on a planet like that? I mean, he built it to help his mom, but isn't that more of a diplomatic droid than a
Work
work
yeah,
droid?
that part didn't actually add up.
If anything, I'd want like an R2 unit. It's like, here, fix all this scrap metal for me. Turn these ships into
I get
usable
because
items.
the protocol droids actually, like in the beginning of the movie, you see one serving tea, the Jedi. So I can understand it filling that role, but you're right. The AI programming is I'm a human cyborg relations.
Don't get me started about AI programming. Why would you make battle droids afraid? I just remember that scene. Like I watched it, I'm like, what the hell? Who programmed these robots? To where, all right, they're in the smoky room. The doors come up, and they just see 2 lightsabers kick on, and he's like, uh-oh. I'm like, did a robot just say uh-oh?
But you know what? I like that about the basic attack.
That they
droids.
can be scared.
I like the personality game.
I don't want my basic attack droids to get scared.
I get from their perspective not having.
No, I agree. That's
having
just
this
the humor, a little joke.
Yeah, I love that. I just like it's like uh-oh, but they were still shooting, but they were like crap.
No, they weren't shooting. They were holding their guns, and just the lightsabers kick on. They're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, but they knew. They're like,
And
we're
then,
fucked. But yeah, you're right. It is humor. I enjoyed it, but from in-universe though, if you're making a droid army, you want one that's not going to be scared.
Yeah. Which is why I was a little pissed off when they kicked it back to humans. I'm like, no, you had it right the first time. Robots, like Sidious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his name. Darth Sidious. 6 arms, holds all kinds
Oh
of
no,
lightsabers.
that's General Grievous.
General Grievous. Sorry, Grievous, not Sidious.
He wasn't a full droid, and don't ever call him a droid. He gets pissed about
He
that.
has a little bit of blood in him.
Yeah, but he actually got it. That was his trigger, was calling him a droid.
Oh.
Which is what I you know, all his lightsabers except for the first one, he earned by killing Jedi.
Yeah.
Every lightsaber he got except for one, because one was given to him by Dooku, he killed a Jedi for. And he had a lot, and that's why I love that 2-parter where you see Grievous come
And
about
not all of them
and
are right.
hunting down Jedi, because Dooku trained him. Look, you can't use the Force, but if you fight in an unusual way, they can't predict it as well, and you can overpower
I thought
them.
the blood in him had metachlorians. That way he was capable of using the.
So, well, anyone
lightsaber.
can use a lightsaber. It's just
Oh.
you're more effective.
See, everything I've read about lightsabers says that part of the reason it
Mm-hmm.
stays into that form of a sword is force usage. They're using their force to control the blade.
To keep the plasma in a certain shape and all that, which means you
Yeah.
could technically make some weird shapes with it if you wanted to.
Force axe.
I'd have to see it canon where it confirms that, but from what and granted that 2-parter isn't exactly canon
But then
either.
again, we have evidence to the contrary when Han Solo cuts over a tauntaun. So
Yeah.
I will. Go
But then
back
again,
on
they
that.
theorize that he's a latent Force user.
Oh no, I still prefer the other. I prefer the actual book statement of what he is.
What did it say in the book?
Oh, he's a prince.
Uh-huh.
He is of the House Solo, which his kingdom was overthrown.
Yeah.
His father's kingdom, anyway.
Yeah.
He was thrown into a slaving group with a bunch of Wookiees,
And he worked his way up. Gotcha.
and he saved the life of Chewbacca,
Life debt. Yeah.
which is now Chewbacca is now his companion.
Yeah.
But you know he's not force sensitive. He's of royal bloodline, much like Amidala,
Uh-huh.
who's not force sensitive. Just regular, just royalty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
I'm waiting for a response here other than, well.
No. I've heard that.
And this was
before.
explained to me by somebody who's read every single book in the Star Wars
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, those books are no longer.
Yeah, but I still say
But
I like that back.
they can become canon. It just
They gotta choose to make
Disney
it.
has to confirm what is and what isn't as they choose to use
Oh
what they
god.
want.
Well, if it's Disney, anything to make a buck, they're gonna put out
Yeah.
a whole new line of books.
But I do recall that origin of Han Solo and stuff, and but
Yeah.
yeah. But no, I mean, if assuming he has no, well, I mean, honestly, looking at a lightsaber, assuming it's built correctly to be a certain beam, certain height, and not with the Force, then yeah, anyone could, but it wouldn't be as effective in a non-Force user's hands. Because think about that. Okay, supposedly it's a plasma with no weight until it hits something, right? Meaning you could easily just chop your hand off, your head off, and not even realize it because you swing around a
It's
remote.
immediately cauterized.
Yeah, you swing around a remote, you don't even realize where that beam would be
Unless
going.
you can see the beam.
Yeah. If you see the beam, it's real easy to slip and
Yeah.
a sword, there's weight behind it,
You know where the blade is.
very different. So yeah, I believe that anyone could indeed use, and actually the comic that shows Grievous getting transfusions with midichlorians like Jedi blood isn't canon. So assuming that he does not have any Force using blood in him, therefore he's not a Force user, and he was trained to fight in a brutal and unusual way to overcome that weakness.
Well,
Then
6
yes.
blades would be.
And if Han
useful.
Solo officially has no Force sensitivity at all, then yes, non-Jedi, non-Sith can indeed use lightsabers. They're just not as effective. It's not the best
He
weapon
didn't
for
seem to
them.
have a problem opening that tauntaun. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Well, no, I mean, just, there we go.
But you know, it's just the weapons in this world make absolutely no sense to me.
Oh, like the blasters?
Yeah.
Actually, I heard someone talking
No
about.
reloads.
I heard someone talking about blasters. Why they use blasters and not projectile weapons? That would be better, because the Jedi wouldn't be fast enough to stop that, no matter what. Right? Well, here's why. I know why. The holes of your ship, the holes.
Yeah.
Right? A projectile weapon. This kind of goes to Firefly. Would go right through that hole
Oh.
and create a vacuum. You dispose it. But a blaster may be powerful against body armor in person, but the material that holes are made of, it may not be designed to break or penetrate.
See,
What do
this is where the guy who's so into firearms gets to come out. And
All right, what do you got on that? Because that's my theory on
What
why
do you
they
think
use.
federal air marshals carry? Batons? tasers?
They carry a low velocity rounds that are not designed to
They actually
penetrate.
carry a special round.
Yep.
It's called a composite round.
Yeah.
And what it does is it shatters when it hits a hard surface. But when it hits a squishy surface, it goes in.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, and it is one of the meaner bullets out there because if it hits bone, it's going to shatter. But it's also going to shatter with the same kinetic energy as a bullet hitting you is going to. So
But
it
it won't-
shatters the rib, and then it tears apart your insides with these small composite rounds.
But it won't go through the
It will shatter when it hits the hull of a plane. And a plane, I got to imagine, is a little thinner than a spaceship. Slightly. I don't know. I took...
I'm just thinking that's... One,
But
the person was kind of questioning
cover
it.
it, I think that's probably the exact reason they use... most people use blasters.
Yeah, a YouTuber I was watching was talking about it also mentioned that possibly
But
like
then,
the Star Wars own like Geneva convention.
I wonder this question.
Uh-huh.
Why don't they use them on the outsides of the ship?
And maybe this one particular YouTuber I was watching at one point might have a good answer, because his theory was, let's say that in the Republic there was like a Geneva convention, and they just said, you know what, these projectile-based weapons are inhumane and therefore war crimes. And so most people are going to drop them because it's too much hassle to make them. And also, let's face it, a blaster you don't have to reload. And the newer blasters in the Galactic Empire era don't have that overheating cooldown issue. They're not as effective as the Clone Trooper gear, but they're more reliable. And I think that's honestly why. Plus, it's like, hey, blaster weapons are cool, but I really think that's the real thing. It's that, and it's basically reliability, ease. Because remember, you're in space getting supplies for new bullets, and I think because of the holes of the ship, less likely to destroy your hull and die out in space. I think is really what it comes down to, in all.
Okay.
But I'm still surprised you don't have a few assassins or a few people who aren't using those kind of weapons to take down certain targets, like Jedi or Sith. Oh, they can deflect blasters. Sniper. Nope, they didn't block that one, and he's dead.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice, and I admit the blasters are cool, because I almost made a purchase in Nebraska I shouldn't have made. I was in a Toys R Us in Nebraska, and you know what I saw? They got the Han Solo blaster Nerf gun.
I was just thinking it'd probably be Han Solo's gun.
I was so close to buying it.
That close, huh? Yeah.
Well, because it's based off an actual gun.
It is.
It's based off
I've
of
actually,
broom handle Lugers.
There's a gentleman who made a working version. I mean, not a blaster, but it's Han Solo's gun, but it shoots bullets.
Yeah.
And accurately, too.
Well, basically, it's a broom handle Luger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's got the front load. It's set up almost the exact same way, just futuristic.
Yeah.
Which, even though it takes place in the past.
Well, time is relative.
In a long time ago.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, it's
from
relative.
What, when they were telling the from where they're telling the story?
Their civilization developed at a different time than ours.
No, I could agree. I agree to that, because if I tell you a long time ago, you know, you'd think in the past, but if somebody's telling it to somebody else in the future, still they'd say a long time ago, even though it's in the future for us.
Far away. Well, technology was in the future for us. That universe still stagnating in technology, though. That they hit a certain point, and it's like,
they
we're
hit
plateauing.
the point of necessity, and then they stopped.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? They don't live in excess.
I just still like to see some more innovation.
Well, I don't. I agree with that concept of they now understand that excess is a problem, especially the Jedis. I could see them going, well, you know, excess leads to want leads to becoming a Sith.
That's true.
So we only do what we absolutely have to. We only need these lightsabers. We only have a communicator that's actually a small shaving razor.
Yeah.
Do you ever see that? If anybody doesn't know, Qui-Gon Jinn's communicator is actually just a little dittied up shaving razor.
But a lot of Hollywood props are like that.
No, I'm completely okay
Actually,
with that. It's a fun little fact.
Channel Awesome's, the Nostalgia Critic was originally just him, but it expanded so much that his prop guy actually has his own videos now where he shows how he makes the props. And like he had this like really cool like futuristic corridor for the Rogue One review, and he showed you how he did it. He just looked like pieces of plastic from the dollar store and would spray paint them, stick this on here, put an emergency light, and it's like it looks like some legit industrial hull of a ship, but it's just plywood and a few things put on it, and it's just like
back
wow.
in like the 90s, the most futuristic look in the world could be done with a bunch of 2x4s and sheet metal.
Mm-hmm.
You walk down, holy crap, it's an entire metal wall room. No,
Yep.
it's just sheet metal.
It's just sheet
2x4.
metal, and it makes the illusion, yeah. But
It's not an illusion, it just makes it look like there's a metal wall when there's not. It's,
But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
that's the neat thing about prop building is that you can take some simple stuff, like Ghostbusters, the EK meter. I mean, what?
That was a shoe buffer.
A shoe buffer,
Yeah, spray painted shoe buffer, a couple LEDs.
which was
and a
pretty
little
used in a
fixture.
lot of movies apparently. I didn't notice that, but
Oh yeah.
Predator 2. But
Yep.
but no, I mean, yeah, I mean Hollywood prop guys are said, look, we got to make this something unusual, so you use something common.
Well, you find the
And then
cheapest item.
Yeah, and then you can trick it out. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wow, that looks
Well, you
exotic.
see, here's the thing about the prop department of any movie, and most people don't realize. They get their funding beforehand.
Yep.
So now, here, we're going to give you $10,000 to do the job. You get to keep whatever you don't spend.
That's one way I think they do it, yeah.
So now, are you expecting me to go to Home Depot and buy the high quality?
Nope, they're going to do it as cheap as possible.
No, especially in like the age range of, I'd say like when the original Star Wars movies came out. You know that those guys were working on a serious cheap.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I don't blame anybody, you know.
But then again, we've gotten some really cool props in the process that basically, like, you can make this for cheap, guys. It's that easy. You just have to use your imagination, think outside the box.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. These guys managed to take just a flashlight and turn it into a weapon.
Yep.
Respect from my end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, dude, check this out. Guess what I just did? What? I talked Lucas into letting them use flashlights. What are you gonna do? I'm just gonna take some silver little pieces and add it on.
Yeah, put
and
some
then we're gonna
conduit
put a
around
big
there.
colored stick that comes out, and they're gonna be like swords. Like that's gonna be like $5. And it's like, oh no.
We didn't get into prop building. What are we doing, man?
We've already talked about that. I'm waiting on you.
I know.
All right.
We're gonna make an
Don't just hold
prop-
myself back
a
here.
whole channel
What's
doing
up?
that. I know. I'm just saying as actual money coming.
I
in.
even came up with names.
Mm-hmm. No,
I'm waiting for Build It Blake to come by.
Build it.
It's like Fix It Felix, Build It Blake, and Tinker Tom.
I run every much Wreck-It Ralph now.
Oh, great! You can just be watching movies all night.
I know. Thanks a lot, man. But okay, no, I mean, but
Virtuosity.
yeah. I've never seen Virtuosity.
You never seen that movie? Denzel
Okay.
Washington and Russell Crowe?
Nope.
Denzel Washington goes into VR. He fights Russell Crowe. It's supposed to train police officers. Russell Crowe gets out, and he's got like all these evil people inside his head. It's a great movie.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
And Denzel Washington's got one robot arm. It's great. And there's a whole backstory. It's a Denzel Washington movie, so you know it's good.
Yeah, well, it has Denzel Washington as Denzel Washington,
And Russell
but
Crowe is the bad guy.
which he does. Yeah, okay.
You don't see a lot of him as a bad guy, actually.
Not a lot, but when he does,
I don't think I've ever seen him as a bad guy other than that and Les Mis.
Yeah, you're more likely to see Kurt Russell as a bad guy than
Yeah.
Russell Crowe.
Kurt Russell. I've seen him, Death Proof?
He was a bad guy in that.
Yeah, but name another.
I don't know. Is it
Russell
some
Crowe
sort of
doesn't
career?
play a bad guy. He's Snake fucking Plissken. Snake Plissken does not play a bad guy.
Technically, he was
He was Snake Plissken.
he was a war criminal. He was a criminal. I don't know.
No. He was the protagonist.
He was the
He
protagonist. though.
saved the everyday man.
You're
not
right.
the
You're right.
government.
I'm not good on.
How dare
I don't
you.
have the
I was
database
set.
in my head like you do. So
Well,
I tried, man. I tried.
Okay, you tried.
But I failed. But okay, but I guess in conclusion though, Star Wars Episode 1.
Oh, we're concluding now? Okay.
Do you want to conclude?
No,
I mean,
I'm
is
okay
there
with concluding.
Any other little point you want to throw out?
Well, I could come up with a million. You know me. I can pop them off. I want to hear some of yours. Like,
I mean,
you've been very quiet this show.
really, we kind of touched upon. Like I said, the prequels don't have as many plot holes as everyone tries to say they do. I mean, really, the blockade's a problem.
Okay.
I mean, really, we've kind of hit it.
One question I know people are going to ask, if I'll just get out of the way here. If you know the backstory of Palpatine, you'll know why nobody picked up on the fact that he was evil. Is one of his first skills when he was a young man training himself, because he was not trained under a master, was the fact that he could disguise his Force ability.
Ah, yes.
Like, you could
This is
not
stealth
read
it.
him
Yeah.
as a Force user.
Though Obi-Wan caught wind of it. But
Yeah,
that was
that's
it.
because Obi-Wan's the most powerful Jedi in all the world.
But then again, if Darth Jar Jar was real, that might be who he really cut on. But still. But no, he actually did that. He he was disfigured from years of the dark side, and he used a Force ability to transmute his face temporarily. So really, the way he looks in the end is how he's been looking the entire saga of movies. It's just he's disguised.
Yeah.
And as episode 2 and 3 progress,
I just
you
didn't
see
want
it
anybody-
falling apart more and more to the
Yeah.
point of the Force lightning didn't really disfigure him as they went.
Yeah.
Some people think.
I just wanted people to be aware that,
Yeah.
that is not a plot hole.
Yeah,
He was disguising himself.
Yeah, and especially if you're one of the only two, well, supposedly two Sith, you want to keep yourself under the radar. Especially.
They're not the only two, just like there's not
Yeah.
only two Jedis until the end of these movies.
Well, I know. I'm just saying. I mean, that would be actually that's the best deception this has come up with.
Yeah.
The role 2. There's only 2 of us. They believe it.
Yeah.
But there's.
Because even they said, it's like, well, was he the master or when they
Or
were
the
talking
apprentice.
about Just Maul, was he the master or the apprentice?
Yeah.
But yeah. So our next movie's going to be
Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones.
Well,
Okay.
as some people call it, the Star Wars, the exposition movie.
I
But
like to call it the Clone War, but
well, it's the start of it. At the very end is really when it starts the Clone Wars. But yeah, so Attack of the Clones is our next movie, and then we'll proceed with Revenge of the Sith.
Yep, and then on to Return of the Jedi, I believe. No, that's the sixth one.
No, we gotta do New Hope and Empire
A
Strikes
New
Back
Hope,
first.
Empire Strikes Back. I
And
remember
then-
A New Hope. I always called
Yeah.
the fourth one Star Wars. That was just Star Wars.
Well, it wasn't originally that.
Yeah. Well, originally, no, it was always A New Hope.
Okay, originally it was just New Hope.
Here's the thing: is when they wanted George Lucas, right?
Yeah.
To make a movie, he had to decide. He had all this written out. He
Yeah.
had to decide which movie he wanted to make, and he said this is the one that would best stand alone. If they don't make a sequel or a prequel
Yes.
or any of that crap, this is the movie that will be a complete movie.
Then that does make sense, and that was a smart move on his part.
Yeah.
And I agree, I would have done the same thing, because while I have no problem with episode 1, it is part of this universe, and if you don't have that universe yet, no one's going to really get what the fuck's going on. Like, well, that was kind of cool. Laser swords and droids, woo, and it's going to happen.
Yep.
So, episode 4 was a good start. So, yeah, we're going to do Attack of the Clones next, Revenge of the Sith, followed by A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Force Awakens, and then hopefully by then you've seen Rogue One, and anyone listening will, obviously, spoilers when we get there, should be okay, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Fridays ago. So, yeah, 7 weeks, I think, be time.
Yeah. Okay. So, and just to cover it, I'm gonna say it just because it's been sitting on my head for a minute, and I've been
Okay.
trying to figure out the best character.
Oh, yeah.
And I've decided that it would be John Barrowbinks. John Barrowman as Jar Jar Binks would have completely saved that character.
Gosh, that...
You'd pay to see it.
I will shut up and take my money. That would be awesome to see. Next Maycon, we really have to go to just Merriman. It's like, look,
I have a list of characters you need to play in remakes of movies. And he'll go, you're crazy. And I'll go, yes, but that does not change the fact that people want to see you as Jar Jar Binks.
knowing him, he might actually do that during his panel. Act out some of those roles.
Yeah, I'd like to see just a little 5 seconds.
So we need to make a list of all the movies we've done, and by then all those, and just...
You mean our Facebook page that nobody seems to comment
Actually, well, no one's commenting, but more people are actually liking and visiting the page.
I noticed we got Bruce.
No, we got
That's it.
Hey, I learned that we have to keep posting on our page because Facebook likes to hide that. So we keep doing
We
that.
need to start paying eventually.
We'll
talk about this after.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah.
Alright, so next week we will be doing Attack of the Clones. Oh, where you get to find out that the stormtroopers are clones. Oh God.
I like the clone troopers, honestly.
I have no problem.
I've always
with
believed they were
it.
superior to
It explains
stormtroopers.
why Boba Fett was so useless. He was just another stormtrooper.
Well, the clone troopers were better than the storm.
He had Mandalorian armor, but
Yeah.
he was just another clone trooper.
I mean, you're really starting to step on some toes now.
Oh,
Because there is some Boba Fett love out there. And how many parts did he have in the original trilogy? How many scenes?
Maybe 5. I don't know. He
I've
was
never
kind of a
understood that.
background
But
character.
we'll discuss that when we get to the original trilogy. But yeah, so
Yeah.
Attack of the Clones
Attack
coming
of
up
the
next.
Clones.
Have a good one.